Okay, so today is a special day, and to tell my story, so I'm using Mac computers since 2006. Before that time I was working on Windows PCs, but 2006 I changed my mind, mainly driven by design, simplicity. Windows was annoying. A lot of people complained all the time about Windows. And since then, so for 13 years now, I've worked mainly on my Mac. I've used Windows computers from time to time, but only occasionally, and the Mac just was my digital home. Now, there are a few things that will change probably in the future. Namely, I'm going to consider to become a more heavy Windows user. And why is that? Because I think, first of all, the Apple design gets boring over time, and in the Windows world, you have so many options to choose from. Second, I find it annoying the way Apple is dealing with ports. I don't think that the USB-C port is all I need in my digital life, and Apple over time more and more reduced ports on the two sides of their computers, and I just disagree with that. I don't think that's a good attitude. And third, I also think my options to tweak the performance of the computer and actually to deal with all kinds of specialties I want to do on my laptops is much broader in the Windows world than in the heavily controlled Apple world. So I don't know if this journey will end well. I might get back to my MacBook over time because it's just what I'm used to. I know my ecosystem, I have my iTunes content, which you also can have on a Windows computer. I'm used to Final Cut Pro 10, which is not available for Windows. I'm used to, Keynote and Pages, all of that. But, I'll start this journey. I'll see over the next weeks if I can live with a Windows computer. And I'm going to report back to YouTube how this journey is going to play out. Now, what I have here on my table is something that came yesterday via Amazon, and it is a first laptop I want to try out. And now let's just see what's in the box. So, drums and trumpets. It's actually a big box for a much smaller item. But let's see. So, here we go. So, looking at the box, this is a Razer Blade 15-inch RTX 2080, which is one of the strongest graphic cards you can buy for mobile devices from NVIDIA. It has an Intel Core i7 processor, 8750, 6 cores, a Full HD display, and most importantly, a very high frequency with 144 Hz and an SSD with 512 gigabytes. I just cut off the box here, and it was originally sealed, so no harm. I have an original device from Razer. No one has owned it before, at least I hope. You can always glue this together again, of course. And now let's see what's in the box. First of all, there is another box. And the other box here says, let's get this into the camera and let's zoom this up a little bit. So it says, welcome to the cult of Razer. Now, on Razer laptops, you should know, and probably many people will know already because they are all over the place in reviews, YouTube, in the internet. Razer is a special manufacturer for gaming devices. So they do 13-inch, 15-inch and 17-inch laptops. And they've become famous for high-performance laptops in current and recent high-resolution games. Now, I'm not a gamer, of course. I'm interested in natural sciences. I do math, I take photos, I cut videos. So you could call me probably a content producer, but especially in content production, if you look at Adobe Premiere Pro or Lightroom, if you look at large file sizes, people who follow me on my channel know that I'm taking photos, for instance, with a Phase 1 IQ4, which means 150 megapixels per image, which gives this a file size of, probably 100 megabytes, give or take. That means you need a high-performing computer. So a good CPU, if you can afford it, a good GPU for the graphic, and a very fluent screen. And that's why the 144 Hertz on that Full HD display will create, for sure, very smooth scrolling and operations, no flickering, and hopefully a very clear picture. So let's see what's in that box here. Let's zoom out again. So there is actually something to rip it off. Okay, so this looks like a charger. It is a very large charger and a very heavy charger. Okay, so here is a ribbon. You can get this off. And then you have the power here. Let's look at that. So this is 230 watts. This is, you know, quite strong. It's big, it's heavy. I wouldn't call it really portable. There is the Razer logo on top of the charger and the cable. Let's look at the cable for a moment. The cable has, you know, a special, I think a special kind of connection here. That's nothing usual. It's proprietary or, you know, tailor-made for Razer laptops. And then the cable is very interesting. It's very thick. It feels like nylon. Well, we'll see how this plays out going forward. So that's one item we have here. Then here on the side, there is another box. Let's see what that is. That, of course, is the power cord. And if I see this correctly, it's for the European market or Germany. And it already has the right connection to my power plug in the wall. In Switzerland, I will need an adapter for this. The problem is, this is what people, I think, call a Schuko plug. And that's something which is not used in Switzerland, but there are adapters to actually deal with it. All right, so that's it. Let's get this away. Let's further look into the box. Here's another protector. And then, wow, look at that Poissy green here, which is the typical Razer color. What does it say here? Designed and engineered by Razer in California, all rights reserved, Thunderbolt, blah, 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 blah. Nothing important. Here we have the Razer logo. And then there is something here to open the box. Quite fancy. Wow. This looks really, really good. Look at that Razer logo. If I'm not mistaken, that logo is illuminated, so it will have a very aggressive appearance if the laptop is switched on. So this is the laptop. We'll look at that in a moment. Let's see if there's anything else in the box. Looks like some papers here. Oh yeah, there's a cleaning towel here, like a tissue. You will need this because people in reviews about the Razer Blade tell it's very magnetic to fingerprints. Okay, some aggressive stickers. Let's look at them for a moment. Razer for gamers, by gamers. Well, as I said, I'm not a gamer. I'm a content producer. Some other cards here, I don't think we really need them. And then a little manual here, I guess, in all kinds of languages. All right, good. Let's look at the laptop, because that's what we signed up for. Okay, beautiful. You see it already here, one touch with my fingers, and it, you know, it keeps the fingerprints like a treasure. The same at the bottom part of the laptop. We have the fans here. And the cooling system is the NVIDIA Max-Q design, which they use for their RTX 2060, 2070 and 2080 graphic cards. And the cooling system is supposed to be much more quiet than the old generation from 2018. This is the 2019 generation of the Razer Blade. So hopefully it doesn't blow too heavily and is hopefully not annoying. Let's open this up. Actually, if you look at it here on the edges, it's beautiful. I think the commercial on the Razer Blade say it's carved out from one aluminum block. And by the way, maybe we should just briefly should look at the ports here. In green we have a USB 3.1 port. Then we have an HDMI port here. This is a mini display port. And here we have a Thunderbolt port or USB-C. On the other side, 2 more USB 3.1 ports, and then a headphone jack and the power connection for the charger. Now if we open this up, wow, very nice. Very nice. It says here at the edge of the screen, 144 Hertz fast refresh rate. That's what I mentioned before. And then here it basically refers to the graphic card from NVIDIA, GeForce RTX 2080 Max-Q design. That's the cooling system. VR, that's virtual reality ready graphics, 8 GB of graphic DDR6 VRAM, 8th generation Intel Core i7 and 6 cores. So that is quite nice, goes up to 4.1 gigahertz. Let's briefly look at the performance of this new machine. So I'm here in Adobe After Effects. This is my project for my new intro, which I just created. You see here all the animations, so we can flip this forth and back. And let's briefly export it and render it as a video to see how quickly this goes. So we go to Export, we go to Add to Render Queue. And basically we have here, I think all the settings are already okay. Let's go to Render. And then you see here the progress bar, and wow, that's quick. That is really, really quick. And actually I can say I also tested some Adobe Premiere Pro rendering, and it seems to me much more performance than what I had on my MacBook Pro before. And my MacBook Pro actually was the 2018 generation with highest specs possible. So this is very promising going forward. And a few tests I did in my Adobe projects, but also in Lightroom and Photoshop, I think they show that I have a very well performing machine here where I can produce my content. So I have the Razer Blade 15 Advanced Model 2019. Now 2 weeks with me. I took it with me abroad on travel. I was working and producing content, and I think it was a very promising start. I'm sure I will use MacBooks in the future again, especially the new Mac OS is very promising.
But for the time being, it's a nice machine to produce content, to refresh, knowledge and experience on Windows, and the performance of that laptop is just blowing me away. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.